Hey, Retro Rewinders, and welcome back to The Drop, Retro Revisited, where we dive into the classics that shaped gaming history. Today we're unpacking 4 absolute gems that still pack a punch decades later. Let's jump right in. Disney's Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, released in 1990 for the NES. Capcom struck gold with Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, a charming side-scrolling platformer based on the popular Disney cartoon. Released in 1990, this game was a standout on the NES because of its tight gameplay, catchy music, and beautiful pixel art. You get to play as Chip or Dale, or team up with a friend for some classic co-op action, and couch co-op was a big deal back then. What made it special was how it blended simple platforming with creative mechanics like throwing objects at enemies or using teamwork to solve puzzles. It was accessible for kids, but still challenging enough to keep older players hooked. Impact-wise, it set a high bar for licensed Disney games, proving they could be fun and well-made. Today, it's held in high regard by retro fans and collectors. Despite its age, the gameplay remains smooth and nostalgia boosts the fun, making it a timeless classic worth revisiting. And it's just one of those games that Blockbuster never seemed to have when I went to rent it. Earthworm Jim, 1994, Sega Genesis. If you thought platformers were all about jumping and running, Earthworm Jim flipped the script with absurd humor, wild animation, and a wacky storyline. Developed by Shiny Entertainment and released in 1994 for the Sega Genesis, and later other platforms, this game featured a humble earthworm who becomes a superhero after finding a high-tech suit. The level design was creative and unpredictable, featuring everything from psychedelic backgrounds to weird enemies like dancing aliens and robotic frogs. Its quirky style was matched by clever, tight controls and some of the best 2D animation seen on consoles at the time. Earthworm Jim had a huge impact by proving that video games could be both funny and challenging, appealing to players tired of more serious fare. Today, it's still an entertaining blast from the past, though the difficulty and some control quirks might frustrate new players. Still, it's a must-play for 90s gaming fans and lovers of quirky characters. Star Soldier, 1986, NES. Star Soldier is a seminal shoot-'em-up from Hudson Soft that helped define the genre on the NES back in 1986. Players take control of a spaceship tasked with blasting through endless waves of enemies and massive bosses across colorful starfields. What made Star Soldier stand out was its fast-paced gameplay and focus on scoring points with power-ups and combos, paving the way for the score attack style shooters that followed. It was one of the early games to popularize vertical scrolling shooters on home consoles, influencing later classics like Gradius and R-Type. The graphics and sound were impressive for the time, immersing players in an exciting space battle atmosphere. However, the game's challenge was not for the faint-hearted. It demanded precision, quick reflexes, and memorization. Today, while the gameplay feels repetitive and less polished compared to modern shooters, it still offers a nostalgic thrill for fans of the retro arcade-style action, and those who love a true old-school challenge. Tetris, 1989, Game Boy. Few games have shaped the gaming world like Tetris, and the 1989 Game Boy version is arguably the most iconic. Designed by Alexei Pajitnov in the USSR, Tetris's simple concept, rotate and arrange falling blocks to clear lines, became a universal language of fun and frustration. Bundled with the Game Boy at launch, it practically sold the handheld system by itself, turning gaming portable and accessible to everyone. This puzzle masterpiece was revolutionary because it combined endless replayability with a minimalist design and addictive gameplay that appealed to all ages and skill levels. The music, especially the catchy main theme tune, became instantly recognizable worldwide. Its impact was massive. Tetris inspired countless clones, sequels, and adaptations influencing game design and pop culture forever. More than 30 years later, it still holds up perfectly. Easy to pick up, hard to master, and impossible to put down. Whether you're a retro fan or a newcomer, the Game Boy Tetris experience is pure, timeless gaming magic. And that's a wrap on today's Blast from the Past. If you love these retro legends, smash that like button and subscribe for more nostalgic deep dives right here on The Drop, Retro Revisited. Catch you next time.